Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans, to the Homestead Miami Speedway. Tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, presented by Red Light Racing. The Scrambler Series is back for round number 4 here with these machines. And tonight, they whip out the old 1987 Winston Cup machines. The Ford Thunderbird, the Chevy Monte Carlo, and something called the Race fans, somebody's got a Buick out onto the raceway. I don't know whose grandma or grandpa lost their Buick, but it's out there on the racetrack. I'm telling you right now, I see 2 of them. They're going to be out there racing tonight, I'm being told. And, well, we're going to see how those Buicks handle. Right now, it's all about qualifying, but it's been all about a couple of these drivers this season who have had some very fast cars. 2 drivers have taken the top spot in 3 races. Those drivers were Max Terrell and Sean Butler, and James Skelton is the first driver that is racing for a way to point himself in to the championship playoffs. The playoffs, though, run right here through Miami Homestead Speedway. It's just about time to get that starting lineup, and our starting lineup here tonight is brought to us by our friends over at SimBox. If you don't have one on your sim rig, race fans, you need one on your sim rig. Contact SimBox today and get Doug Neal to build you a custom button box for all your sim racing needs. This is your starting lineup brought to you by SimBox. Starting on the front row here tonight, he drives car number 42. Max Terrell will roll off on the front row with the number 11 of Sean Single, that is, starting there in P number 2. Then it'll be James Skelton in the 86. Tim Combs back here after having a little illness last week. He'll start 4th. Chris Hammett will drive car number 6, starting back into the 5th spot. Starting in 6th, driving the Rev Esports BK Paints number 2, that's Michael Trevarthen. He'll go 6th. Zach Mitchell in the number 24 will go from the 7th spot, while Jeffrey Souza, car number 4, will go 8th. Starting back into the 9th spot, driving the number 33, that's Eric Johnson. Johnson will go there, sitting into P number 9. 10th will be the number 62 of Ethan Troutman. The number 51 of DJ Anderson will go from position number 11 here tonight, while going from the 12th spot, it's the Alien, number 64 of Jason Wells. Back into the 13th starting spot here tonight as the cars start to roll away here. The Full Throttle Motorsports Turbo Work Radical Paints entry of Ryan O'Donnell will go 13th. Richard Murdoch will go start the 0-1, back into the 14th position here tonight. And then it will be driving the number 14, the Culpeppers Bakery and Cafe entry. That's Brian Bianchi. He'll go 15th here tonight. Dave Bragg having a very special paint scheme on his car. We'll talk about him a little bit later on here tonight in the 31 entry. He'll go 16th, 17th of the SimBox number 77 of Doug Neal. Joe Schreiner back into the 18th spot, starting 19th. Then will be Brandon Feeney. 20th will be Rex Hoyle in the number 54. Then it's Dalton Williamson scheduled to roll from 21st, but he'll start shotgun to the field here tonight. Philly Edwards will go 22nd, 23rd. Then on our call here tonight will be Mike Lemieux in car number 912 entry. Josh Buckley back in 24th. Rob Higgins, Kevin O'Brien, Dan Murphy Jr., Bob Higgins, and Tony the Man Strano back there. That's your Simbox starting lineup here tonight for our race round number 4 here at the Homestead Miami Speedway as we're coming to green. Green flag is up as the 1987 cars storm down across the line. Looks like the inside lane is the place to be down into turn number 1. Look at them all. They're 2x2 stacked up back there. The battle, though, is not for the race lead. It's Max Terriel down the back straightaway first. He will lead us into turn number 3. Couple drivers, though, towards about the mid-pack that are still side by side. That's the Dirty Mo Radio number 33. That's going to be Eric Johnson down on the bottom side. There you see his Chevrolet to the inside of the DuPont number 24. Lap number 1, though, will go to the driver of car 42. That is going to be Max Terriel, picking up right where he's left off this year at the front of the field with these machines. See Max off turn number 2. He's opened up, called about a half a second race lead currently. There you see the number 51. That's DJ Anderson in the pink blue Fox number 51 entry. He'll slide down to the bottom side. He saw Eric Johnson be able to work his way around the number 24 of Zach Mitchell. He's trying to do the same exact thing. 2 laps like that going in the books here tonight. Still side-by-side racing because here comes the number 4. That is Jeffrey Souza. Souza having himself a very strong start to the season here with our Scrambler series. And he's doing a good job here tonight. Oh, a little bit of a bobble there on the 24 of Zach Mitchell. That's going to have to cross Souza to really check up his entry. And now they're going to lose a little bit of ground down the back straightaway as Ryan O'Donnell, the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry, got around both them. So he'll be sneaky and go around the outside. Max Terriel still at the race lead. James Skelton, though, in the Pepsi Challenger throwback entry. Actually, that is Tim Combs in that throwback behind the Bobby Labonte throwback there for James Skelton. Problems for the Autism Speaks Canada machine. The number 31 of Dave Bragg having a very special paint scheme on his car this season. We told you we'd keep you up to date with that one, but we didn't think we'd be talking about Dave Bragg this early, the driver out of Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. Having a little bit of issues here, so the first caution flag on lap number 4 tonight here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. So the first caution flag flies, but it means we have to figure out what just happened to a couple of these drivers. Well, let's take a look back here and watch Dave Bragg. Oh, looks like Bianchi and Murdoch made, and Bianchi hard contact with the Buick. Dave Bragg then also getting tangled up there. Dan Murphy Jr. involved also. Joshua Buckley. Let's see if we can ride on board here. Hard hit to the left front of the Brian Bianchi entry. There you see, I believe that is Dan Murphy Jr. going down to the infield there. Kevin O'Brien also involved. Correction, that is actually the 912 entry of Mike Lemieux who's involved. There's that Piedmont Air entry. See him down to the inside. A lot of suspension damage on his car. Rolls away, but the right front was down there. You see the sparks bellowing out of the 912 entry. Right on board with Dalton Williams, and he was right behind it. You see all the cars going down to the bottom side there. It's the 31 of Bragg, and Bragg gets tagged by Murphy, and nowhere for Dalton Williamson to go. He's involved in this one. Brian Bianchi, remember, being the driver that had the biggest hit. I believe Josh Buckley also being involved. See the Chevy right here, and nowhere for Buckley to go right into the back of the Culpepper's Bakery Cafe, number 14. And Buckley having some terminal damage on that machine. There you see multiple cars down on pit road here tonight. That's not how they wanted to start it. Here comes the 31 of Dave Bragg. He'll make his way back out onto the speedway with the Autism Speaks Canada, number 31 here tonight. Of course, Dave Bragg is teaming up with Jiffy Lube and Autism Speaks Canada this year. Jiffy Lube is donating a sponsored paint. There you see it tonight on car number 31. They're also having a round of fundraising to raise support for Autism Speaks. They're trying to reach this season their goal, and Jiffy Lube's goal is to get $10,000 in donations in oil changes, wiper blades, and service at Jiffy Lube in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. We do thank Dave Bragg for his help with the Autism Speaks Canada, and we thank Jiffy Lube for also jumping on board with a great cause. If I lived in Ontario, Canada, I know right where I'm headed to get my oil change. Problem is, I can't get across the border right now out of the States. So, guess we're just going to have to send one to Dave Bragg. What do you say? What I can tell you, though, is we're coming back into the restart zone here after our first caution flag of the evening. Marine flag back into the air, and Max Terrio will lead the charge to turn number 1. Almost 3 wide racing there. Sean Single started to slide up. There was the 17 of Combs. Nobody took advantage of it, though, as they will single file out, except for Michael Trevarthen. There you see the Rev Esports. Number 2, the BK Paints entry, was looking underneath the Pepsi Challenger, number 17 of Tim Combs, but was not quite able to make the pass work. As you see him, they go back into single file sideways for the number 11. That was Sean Single. He was hanging it out that time off turn number 4. Completely sideways with that Hot Wheels entry. I didn't know if it was him or Kevin O'Brien driving that car. Sean looks like he's going to lose one spot, but loose once again up off turn number 2. Now he's going to be under the challenge there of that Thunderbird, that number 2. And Michael Trevarthen, as Trevarthen might take a peek down to the inside here. 2 Thunderbirds battling for P number 4 here currently. They also got DJ Anderson starting to work his way into the mix here. And now they go side by side out of turn number 4 at the line. Sean Single will hold that position for the time being. Question is, can he hold it? Now Tim Combs going to loosen up out of the groove sideways for the Pepsi Challenger entry. Oh, everybody checked them up. They almost stacked them up out of turn number 2 that time. Tim Combs was holding on to his Golf driver that time. And now he's going to go up out of the groove down here in turns number 3 and 4. This is a multi-groove raceway. Plenty of room to go racing. The bottom side does seem like to be the place to be tonight. So Michael Trevarthen picked up 2 spots since we went back green flag racing as 2 drivers got up out of the groove. So I guess tonight you just want to hit your spot and not make the mistakes if you can. Sean Single restarted on the front row and has now fallen all the way back to that 6th position. Chris Hammett in another one of his Mark Martin throwback schemes is sitting right there. And there's the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. That's Reinald Donaghy there. You see the black, the pink, and the blue entry. Driver out of Michigan working his way up 5 spots since the drop of the green flag. He really likes tracks and car combinations here in the Scrambler Series that you really have to try and manhandle. You know, sometimes it's not all about flat foot, and Reinald Donaghy really likes to get in there and dance with the rear tires and let it sing a pretty song out the tailpipes. Right now, Donaghy in that Thunderbird, sitting into the 8th position. Right behind him, Jeffrey Souza and Zach Mitchell round out the top 10. That's how your top 10 is looking currently. A little bit farther back behind them, though, Richard Murdoch. See him on to the outside. Start of 14th, currently running into the 14th spot because there goes Rex Hoyle as he takes his Culpepper's Bakery Cafe entry now into P number 13. He's the only remaining Buick. Oh, let me double check that stat. He is. He's the only remaining Buick out there onto the raceway. Rex running that Buick right there. The 505 Motorsports entry, taking on a full strong of Thunderbirds and Monte Carlos, and it's a good mix-up between the Chevrolets and the Fords, but those Buicks only got one remaining. Out front, it's a Chevrolet, followed by 3 Fords and another Chevrolet to round down the top 5, so 2 out of the 5 spots inside the top 5 are Chevrolets, and those blue ovals sandwiched in between. Same as they all rip down the back straightaway. Chris Hammett now looking to the inside here on the number 11 of Single. Single's been in a backward slide since we went back green flag racing. Looks like Single will fall to that number 7 spot. Now here comes the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. Rhino Donning trying to see if he can work his way by. No electronic gauges, no power steering in this car. Here the fire-breathing V8 scream down the back straightaway here. A lot of room to open up all the horsepowers. See one driver maybe having a little too much horsepower back there underneath his bonnet. That was the number 62. Troutman leaving the bottom side of the speedway as he has fallen outside the top 10 from where he had started here tonight. 33 of Eric Johnson trying to work his way back. He also has fallen outside. Looking at it, he goes right down to the bottom. That puts that Buick to the outside of Rex Hoyle. Dalton Williamson back out onto the raceway. He was involved in that wreck. Going to funnel back in the line right now. He's running behind the number 77. That's the Simbox entry of Doug Neal. I believe his car says the Chattanooga crew. The 80s are a little bit before my time, race fans, so I can't tell you if that's a throwback on the 77 of Neal or not. What I can tell you, though, is he told me, see that dash you have right there? He told me he has actually been able to recreate that dash over at Simbox. So if you are looking for a dash for your iRacing rig to look like the 1987 machines, he can make you one of those right there. What he can't make, though, is his car any faster right now. As Dalton Williamson was looking to the inside, he'll complete the pass off turn 4. So put Williamson now into P number 19, bumping Doug Neal down the spot. And here comes Dale Earnhardt. Oh, wait, it's Tony Strano in car number 3. That black, intimidating Goodwrench entry. That is Tony Strano. He'll dive down to the bottom side here on Doug Neal, seeing if he could make that pass also. Doug Neal's going to lift, and Tony Strano in the Strano Brothers Racing number 3 will take P number 20. So Doug Neal dropping 2 spots in 2 laps. Out front, there's your front 2. It's the 42 and the 86. That's how they're running right now. Look at them all as they come off the corner. Last time by, when I look at the line, it was James Skelton as the fastest car. James Skelton getting some fishing in this past week before he came here onto his iRacing simulator. Now trying to maybe win one of these like he won the Bass tournament the other week. Currently running in second. You know what we could really use, though, to go good with that number 86 of James Skelton, that Maxwell House Coffee? We could use a Tim Richmond throwback. I don't believe I saw one, but what I did just see out of the corner of the eye was about a 3-wide racing battle back there, and that was with the 43 of Joe Strano, the 33 of Eric Johnson, and the 4 of Jeffrey Souza. Looks like the 4 of Souza having some connection issue here to our iRacing.com server that we're on tonight. You saw his Underbird kind of blink just a little bit. Jeffrey Souza really way up the banking that time down in that corner. Trying to see if he can get the momentum built up through 1 and 2 and then cross back over. He tried. He gave a look to the inside of that Dirty Mo radio, number 33. Nothing doing there, though, down into turn number 3. So it'll be Eric Johnson holding that spot from Souza. Joe Strano now in the STP, number 43, the King entry, trying to work his way back in. And old Richard Murdoch still sitting back here in the 14th spot. Hasn't been able to go anywhere, really, since the drop of the green flag. He's picked up a spot here and there and then has given it right on back. Rex Hoyle, though, still taking his Buick down to the bottom. It's a good-looking Buick. All the 1987 cars are good-looking, though, so I can't really just say the Buick is better than the Chevrolet. What I can tell you is both the Buick and the Chevrolet are better-looking than the Fords. Oh, did I say that one out loud? Well, can't take it back now. Those Chevrolets and those Buicks are on point. Little movement out in front here. 3-wide battle as Ryan O'Donnell will take the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry to the inside. Tim Combs is starting to fade here, just like a couple of his favorite golfers at the Masters the other week. Of course, remember, race fans, Tim Combs is giving away golf lessons. Golf lessons by Tim Combs, all free to Red Light Racing members. All you have to do is travel to the Ohio area, and you can get your free golf lesson by Tim Combs. Hope he's not giving driving lessons, because right now Tim is down 9 spots from where he has started tonight's race. That Pepsi Challenger entry now down 10 spots. I don't know if something happened to the number 17, but Tim is fading very, very fast. It just does not seem like he can get into the corner. And with him not being able to get into the corner, everybody is freight draining the 17. 3 wide, Dalton Williamson down to the bottom side. There's that 0-1 of Murdoch. He was the meat in the sandwich. Now they all single filed it out just like that, except for here comes the 61 of Dalton Williamson. Williamson in that Chevrolet will take a peek down to the inside. Tim Combs goes from inside the top 5 to all but outside the top 20 in just a handful of laps here. It's not quite time. You could start to see pit stops maybe in the next, so-called 3 laps or so. But that 17 is screaming right now that he needs to come to pit road. No screaming, no complaining from your top 5 right now, because it's Matt Terrell, James Skelton, Michael Trevarthen, TJ Anderson, and Chris Hammett. There you see Hammett just peeking into the picture there. One driver having some problems. I think that was Ryan O'Donnell down into the corner. I think he just got a little piece of the straightaway wall into turn number 3. Don't see too much damage, if any. Remember, the 1987 cars were back when they were built tough. All right, we'll give it to Ryan O'Donnell with Ford stuff. I'll give it to him. Built Ford tough with Chevy stuff. Only kidding again, race fans. Ryan O'Donnell, a big Ford fan, and of course working for Ford and getting one of those brand new Ford Broncos. I gotta give it to him. I always picked on him and told him it was a glorified Jeep. But now that Ryan has his, I forget what color he calls it exactly. It's an orange color to me, but it is absolutely, Ford knocked that one out of the ballpark. Ryan has one, of course. He says it doesn't quite fit in his garage. I guess that just means you have to build a bigger garage. Tim Combs continuing to drop spots here in the early stages of this one. All the way back to 21st now. There went the number 38. That's Brandon Feeney taking a peek down to the inside. The Liquid Molly K1 graphics entry. Driver just got done testing his hobby stock car up in Canada. Said he wants to become a better racer, become a little bit faster on the real world side of things. So he was doing some testing the other week. Has no plans quite to run that hobby stock car, but wanted to get some laps on it. That's exactly what he did. Dalton Williamson, I'm being told that dropped a couple spots in the last couple laps. It looks like he has fallen 3 or 4 spots since the last time he came around the timing tower. He's back there running into the 15th position. I don't know if he went for a little bit of a slide or what happened to Dalton. He was missing in last week's race, and he's here tonight. He said New Hampshire was just not for him last week. Battle here as here comes Chris Hammett. He'll take the number 6 machine down to the inside, down in 3. Bad angle, though, at it. And you saw the car wiggle when he got on the binders. That'll chase the number 51 up the speedway. Here comes Michael Trevarthen, though. First one coming to pit road. That Thunderbird will hit the commitment cone. Down to pit road pace speed, which would be 50 miles an hour here tonight. So that's pit road speed also. More drivers coming to pit road. Tim Combs says, thank you. We made it this far to the first pit stop. They're going to be able to change tires here. Put 4 Goodyear Racing Eagle tires on the bias ply entries on these cars. 4 brand new sneakers is going to be the call for all these drivers. Your race leader, though, Max Terriot, says it is not time to come to pit road, so he stays out. He'll come across the line. Everybody else following in suit. 2 more drivers, though, that are electing to come to pit road. That'll be the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza and the 43 of Joe Strano. So those 2 drivers will come down as Max Terriot stays out here tonight. Green flag pit cycle, though, is underway. We are starting to get there to that green flag pit cycle. And the Buick is inside the top 10. Here comes Rex Hoyle. Inside the top 10, but he may be coming to pit road here. Gets down onto the apron. They're going to have to be very tricky. They're very cautious. Ryan O'Donnell will be able to get his Turbo Door Critical Paints entry down. He'll get it to pit road. So a lot of drivers in practice having some problems. Race leader, though, Max Terriot also coming down pit road. So pit road becoming a very, very busy place here. See him. He'll come to a stop at the front of pit road. Right side tires going on. See cars leaving pit road. That's the 31 of Bragg. He's all the way back into the 24 spot. Comes Bob Higgins. He'll make the pass. Now another driver coming to pit road. James Skelton now will bring his number 86 to pit road. That'll leave 1 driver out, though, out onto the raceway. That's the 33 of Eric Johnson. He's pulling around the 64 of Wells. Dalton Williamson also still out there. Doug Neal, Tony Strano, and Brandon Feeney. So in the midst of this green flag pit cycle, I'm taking a peek, and I don't see anybody that has got nabbed for speeding on pit road, but we still have a couple cars left here before we see that all really cycle itself through. See if anybody did get popped by the police. You don't want to speed it. I mean, if you're gonna, I guess now's the time to do it, but you still don't want it to happen to you. Eric Johnson, Jason Wells, Dalton Williamson, along with Doug Neal and Tony Strano with Brandon Feeney, they all did go pit on lap number 5 under that first caution flag, so they do have a little bit more fuel than what some of our race leaders who you just saw them come to pit road had. And talking about one of those race leaders there, you see the 42 of Max Terriot coming back into the picture here. He pitted on lap number 32. Put 4 tires and fuel on, and he is sitting back into the 9th spot. He is currently the first driver 1 lap down, but he will get his lap back the old-fashioned way. Back in 1987, there were no lucky dogs. There were no wave-arounds. You had to line up behind the pace car. If you were a lap down, you went to the inside lane. If you were a lead lap car, you lined up nose to tail in the outside lane. And the only way to get your lap back is to go up there, pass the race leader, and hope that a caution came out, and then you could just circle back around and tag the back of the field. That is not what's going to happen here tonight. See 1 driver coming out of pit road. That was the Alienware number 64. That was Jason Wells in that car. There you see him on screen. Just pitted for his 4 tires and fuel, and now he's back out. Another driver down on pit road here. This is the second time that the number 33 has come to pit road, and that's Eric Johnson. First time back on lap 5, and since then he hasn't been to pit road until now. He'll drop the jack and go. Your race leader is right here. He's now going to come to pit road. That number 3 of Tony Strano will come to pit road for the first time here tonight. He'll come down at a slow 50-mile-an-hour crawl here at Homestead. See his box is towards the beginning of pit road. So he's able to get in it and out of it. Some strategy play here for DJ Anderson under this green flag pit cycle, though. He put 2 tires on his Ford. So the 51 of DJ Anderson getting 2 tires and then being sent back out onto the raceway. A little contact there. That was the 30 of Higgins and DJ Anderson. Anderson's going to wiggle down the back straightaway, but he was able to hold on to it. No harm, no foul. Just a little paint being traded here tonight. Race leader Kevin O'Brien is in. He'll come to a complete rest. That will turn things over. New race leader DJ Anderson, car number 51. He'll have about almost just under a 4-second lead over Max Terriot, so everything is starting to really cycle itself through now. There you see the 42, Max Terriot working. He was the race leader when he came to pit road, but not no more. He's back to running second, 3 1/4 seconds behind race leader of DJ Anderson. James Kelton will come out of pit road. He'll be running in P number 3. It's exactly where he started off here tonight. He is sitting about 5 1/2 seconds back of your race leader. Chris Hammond a little bit farther back than yet on top of that, 7 1/2 seconds behind the race leader of DJ Anderson. Chris Hammond, though, having himself a very strong showing here at Homestead. Jason Wells will round out our top 5 drivers, and you got to think he was the last driver to come to pit road. That was towards the front. So that'll give him fresher tires and a lot more fuel. Zach Mitchell and Ethan Troutman along with Sean Single locked in a battle here. Keep playing a little bit of toss it back and forth, and I'm not talking about tossing the COVID either back and forth. This is the position on the speedway to stay inside the top 10, because right now Ethan Troutman's on the bubble, and if that number 33 of Eric Johnson would be able to rally here, let's see if he can get these drivers all in one big shot. At the line inside the top 5, that was going to be your 64 of Jason Wells as your fastest car on the speedway. Remember, he does have the freshest tires also, so maybe a little bit of an advantage there heading the way of the 64 of Wells. But first, you got to go catch him. He's out front, and it's still 3 1/2 seconds for DJ Anderson here tonight. Is he going to play the strategy perfect as we're closing in on halfway home? See some lap traffic out in front of DJ Anderson. That's Philly Edwards in the Genesee Cream Ale, number 73. And the 184, that's Kevin O'Brien. So O'Brien will go a lap down. DJ Anderson just hugging the bottom side. As we're 2 laps officially here tonight at Homestead, away from the halfway point. A lot of these drivers stretching themselves out a little bit, but you can always find Sean Single locked in a good battle. That's the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. That's the 24 of Zach Mitchell, and the Amco number 62, sorry, excuse me, that's the 62 of Ethan Troutman. Last time by, Max Terriot was the fastest car. He ran a 30.0. Yeah, 36.00 on the speedway. This time by it was a 36.1 for James Skelton. What do you say? We're just over halfway. Let's take a ride around the speedway here with Max Terra. Let's hear how he negotiates and navigates this track. Very, very ginger on the throttle of the 42 for Max Terriot. He's currently running in P number 2 as he's running down the 51 of DJ Anderson. There you see him go underneath the stripe. He is your leader at the halfway point home here tonight. 2 laps removed from halfway on the back end of this 90-lap race here tonight at the Miami Homestead Speedway. It's round number 4 for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, presented by Red Light Racing. So DJ Anderson picking up 10 spots since the drop of the green flag, and he is running P number 1. There you see the 51. Taking a look at the gap. That gap has actually gotten bigger. It was right around 3 seconds, if I do remember right. We'll see if that holds under this first green flag official cycle of pit stops here tonight. So it's Anderson, Terriot, Skelton, Hammett, and Wells, your top 5. There you see the Alienware number 64 of Wells has caught that number 6 of Chris Hammett. Remember the 17 of Tim Combs. Whatever happened to him? Where did he go, Cotton Eye Joe? And there he's back into the 18th spot. He has dropped 14 spots here tonight. It's got to be some kind of wheel damage on that 17. Combs looking to give up another one there. That's Doug Neal in the Simbox 77. Zach Mitchell and his co-partner, the 11, have been together all evening long. Little tap that time down into the corner, though, by the 11 of Single, but everybody gathered it back up. And heck, Zach Mitchell would probably say, thank you. Gonna have another. He has not been fazed by that. So Eric Johnson's still continuing to pound the bottom side of the speedway, and it looks like he'll get the number 11 of Single, but the question being, will he be able to go get Zach Mitchell? Remember, Eric Johnson, another one of those late race drivers that came to pit road. He came on lap number 36. A lot of these drivers that he's racing around came down on lap number 33, so there is a bit of a difference on the tires here tonight at Homestead. We'll see if that does continue to work. DJ Anderson, remember, he picked up 2 tires. Or at least I'm thinking he put 2 tires on. It might have been just a fuel-only stop. As there's another driver on that same strategy, and his name is the Jason Wells entry. See these drivers searching for grip all around the speedway. Sometimes it may be a little bit higher. Sometimes you might have to just diamond off the corner. And sometimes, well, you just go flat at it and say, I hope it sticks. What's the proper way of running the 1987 car here? It's all a driver preference. Maybe the car, if he taps on the brake, he has some rear brake into it, maybe it'll roll the bottom. Just roll the bottom a little bit better. And what we mean by rolling the bottom, it means they get a really good turn from center off, and it allows them to really put the power down of these 1987 cars, because these cars have way more horsepower than you will know what to do with on the racetrack. So You also got to maybe be a little bit cautious. Troutman's still going at it. He hasn't been able to pick anything up. Eric Johnson did just get around Zach Mitchell for P number 5. There you see them. That's how they run currently. So that is Zach Mitchell, Sean Single, Zach Mitchell, Jeffrey Souza's right there. And there you see the 4 Souza on the Underbird entry, trying to work the bottom. 54 laps will be completed next time for your race leader. There you see him as he just kind of checked himself out. That lead is starting to grow now. Looking for those good battles, and it's still locked here between the 62 and the 4. A little bit of a slide job that time by Ethan Troutman. He was just at the dirt track in Bristol. Maybe he picked up a technique of how to slide the tires a little bit and get some life out of them. Right now, though, Souza has actually fallen 3 spots. And, man, I wish we could dial up the driver of car number 4 right now and question him. And what is he thinking? But they all have a job to do, and that's some entertainment purposes, so we'll keep them onto the racetrack and see what NASCAR has to say here, looking at the weather. And it's going to cool off rather quickly down here. Nothing happening around the raceway right now. There's the race leader, DJ Anderson, leading on lap number 56 here tonight in his number 51 Fox entry. Very impressed with the tire situation for him. Souza gaining a little ground there on the 62, so Troutman sliding back now. Car down to the inside there. I believe that is the Genesee Cream Ale entry. See one driver up against the outside retaining wall, too. I believe that was the number 30 of Bob Higgins. Higgins was up against the outside wall. I don't know if something was broken. Maybe just seeing if he can find a fast lane around. You never know where you're going to find that fast when one driver is going to disconnect here tonight. That's the driver of the number 912 entry. Mike Lemieux has called it an evening. So it's currently looking like for him it's going to be a 15th position at the end of this one. $31 laps left here tonight at Homestead. Who do you have in the books? Now the tires for DJ Anderson look like they are starting to fade a little bit. Last time by the line, Max Tarrant was faster by 0.2 of a second, and 0.2 of a second. Well, it may not sound like a lot, and you're probably thinking, what is 0.2 of a second? Well, let's just say it's fast. That's all you need to know. Somebody asks you that question on a test, you just say, it's fast. Looks like a paint scheme on the 51 of DJ Anderson. Looks like it could have come out of the Ryan O'Donnell stables. They always have some beautiful cars. Ryan O'Donnell, there you see him in the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry, and one of those Buicks out there piloted by the 54 Rex Hoyle. Side by side that time off turn number 2 to see who will win the drag race down into turn number 3. Looks like Ryan O'Donnell has a very strong Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry currently. One driver coming to pit road here, and this could be for the final time tonight. That's the number 2 of Michael Trevarth. We saw him pit early on the last round of pit cycle, so now he's going to have to pit and go 30-some laps here. Just under 30 laps, 29 laps, and that's exactly in his pit window here tonight to do. Across the line, he'll lead another one since we went through our green flag pit cycle. DJ Anderson still continuing to hold that race lead by 4 seconds over Max Terrell. That has not changed. The only thing that changed now is Jeffrey Souza. He'll bring his Underbird to pit road. So Souza will give up top 10 running spot currently. Here comes Joe Strano in the STP entry. He'll also come to pit road, 50 miles an hour. Gotta get him wound up. Very slowly into the box for Joe Strano, but that's exactly what he needs. He doesn't want a fumble coming onto pit road, not this late in the game. Race leader, or second place of Max Terrell coming to pit road. Dave Bragg in the Autism Speaks Canada entry. Everybody to pit road. Log traffic jam that time coming off. Everybody go single file. Ryan O'Donnell right now feels like he is Superman and somebody's tugging on his cape right now. More drivers to pit road. DJ Anderson, James Skelton, Jason Wells, Zach Mitchell, Richard Murdoch, and the name can just go on and on and on as everybody is coming. Right now there's one driver inside the top 10 who did not come to pit road. That's the Dirty Mo Radio 33 of Eric Johnson. He pitted back on lap number 36, so it's just not quite time, his team feels, to bring down that car to get some tires. Wonder who's going to try those 2-tire stops here on their second start tonight. They were able to now go through a green flag pit cycle and see who was going to put tires on, who didn't put tires on, how many tires. As Eric Johnson, it will be his turn now to figure out what does he do. Out front, can he lead the lap? He won't get credited with leading that one, but Doug Neal now is taking a licking on tires when you look at it. It was lap number 35 when he came down. Everybody else is either pitted from 35 on at least one time. And those drivers, that's Tony Strano and Brandon Feeney, but everybody else has come down here as of the late, and they have 4 tires and fuel, or at least 2 in fuel to get all the way to the end. There you see Doug Neal. He'll give up the race lead now. So that'll cycle back through to having DJ Anderson as the race leader, and he lost, call about 7/10 of a second. Still over the 3-second marker, back to the number 42 of Max Terrell. It looks like Tony Strano may have missed his pit stall, or entering pit road last time, as he's still out there in that good wrench black, silver, and red number 3. All but 2 drivers have come to pit road, and there you see one of them. That's the 3 of Tony Strano, and the other one right behind him, that is Brandon Feeney. Those drivers have yet to come to pit road. So still expecting them. 24 laps to go. Always some good racing when we come to Homestead here. See the 77 of Neal. He will hold on to the 17th position. Now here comes Brandon Feeney. He'll peel off the banking. He'll come to pit road. So the Liquid Molly K1 graphics. I will get it out tonight. Coming to pit road. There's the race leader. Max Terrell right back to the point where he was. Oh my God. I can almost read the timing and scoring correctly here tonight. It's DJ Anderson, and Max Terrell just set his fastest lap of the evening back here with 22 laps to go. Tony Strano will give up P number 3. He'll go to pit road. Wells will fall into P number 3 now, but look at the gap. It's 10.5 seconds from Jason Wells all the way to DJ Anderson. 22 laps to go. I don't believe you got to come for fuel. Question is, though, if you can't make it on fuel, how much do you have to save under green? Well, here's Souza. He put it back on lap number 61. Let's just take a ride along and see how much fuel he's burning up. Very easy down to the bottom. You heard the crackles. You heard the pops out of the exhaust. Twenty laps to go, and there's no fuel being saved in that car. So that car is on go. We'll see if he can hang on. Couple drivers back here battling it up, mixing and matching it. That's 33 of Johnson getting around Single. So put Single down 8 spots. He started out on the front row. The car just does not look like it can get into the corners or out of the corners like everybody else here tonight. One car down off the banking back there. I believe that was Philly Edwards in the Genesee Cream Ale entry. That's who they say it was. So Philly was probably putting the old can down next to him and then tried to pick up one on the other side and probably almost fell out of his sim rig. I can tell you, if he would have, I would have. It's DJ, it's Max, and it's Jason Wells at the front of this field. Where is everybody else? Take a look on our scoring pylon tower. Find where your favorite driver is running. Let us know who you're here pulling for tonight. A lot of talent here with Red Light Racing. One driver that was down there on pit road just getting some service done. That was Brian Bianchi. He's back out now onto the raceway. There you see the Culpeppers Bakery Cafe number 14 MA. Brian Bianchi has come back out onto the racetrack. He's currently sitting into the 27th position. He has multiple laps down. It looks like 24 laps down. One driver out, that's Mike Lemieux, driving the 9-12 entry. One of those rookies this season. You ever see a 9 number on the timing tower, that indicates to you that they are a rookie. So there's just one rookie here tonight, and that's Dan Murphy Jr. Oh, there's 2. I just talked about it. Mike Lemieux, the other one. Joe Strano just out in front of the race leader, trying to stay on the lead lap if he can. Hear him very ginger, on and off, on and off, on and off. So his car's not exactly handling the way that he would like tonight. 15 to go. These two cars have been together along with Sean Single for most of the night. That's Eric Johnson, Michael Trevarthen, and Sean Single. Then I'll call about 3/10 of a second back. You find this number 61 entry. Not here last week. Tonight he's here. Was wrapped up in the first caution flag by just slowing down, trying to avoid it, and got in it anyway. Tim Combs battling with Dave Bragg. Remember, the Autism Speaks Canada entry. Trying to get some free oil changes. Trying to get $10,000 in donated oil changes and services at Jiffy Lube in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. Such a good cause that the racing community always bands together for. And of course, Dave Bragg heading the charge from Jiffy Lube to the iRacing service. Laps to go. DJ Anderson working underneath the lap traffic there. Sitting at, called about a 3-second deficit between first and second. "12 laps to go. Nobody's going to have to come to pit road, so it's just who's going to have what left at the end of this one. Fastest car on the raceway was Max Terrell back there running into the second position. There you see the 42. About 3 seconds back, maybe about a quarter of the straightaway deficit is what that is going to be between your top two drivers. And then the battle back here for that fourth spot is really starting to heat up. That is the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. And that's the 24 of Mitchell. Mitchell there having himself a very, very, very strong showing here. Question is, though, when they come back around here, is it going to be a good night for those drivers? Because they're all chasing the 51 of DJ Anderson. It'll go double high five at the flag stand when he comes out of turn number 4 and looks up. That will indicate to him that they only have 10 laps to go here in round number 4. DJ trying to steal this one on some strategy he had playing out here tonight. Rex Hoyle's not done. He's not satisfied with running in his spot, so he'll take a dive here to the inside of the number 62 of Ethan Troutman. So Hoyle trying to carry the Buick Brigade. There you see them battling. That's Reinald Donnie also now coming into the picture frame. This is all back here outside the top 10, remember. It's 13th, 14th, and 15th. Reinald Donnie is the 15th place car right now. Kevin O'Brien just behind them. He's unfortunately one lap down to the race leader. And there's the race leader. Taking a peek at it, and it looks like drivers that are left on the lead lap is 15 spots is what is left, and there would be the next victim we already just talked about, and that's Reinald Donnie in the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry. 8 laps to go. You gotta go, baby, go. You don't want the race leader breathing down your neck. You're in a late race charge to the finish because you don't want to go that lap down. Caution were to come out then at that point, and you're at the mercy of just getting back around here before we go back green flag racing if you were to pit and put tires on and come to pit road. DJ gets 7 to go this time, so the laps are clicking off here. Rex Hoyle got around O'Donnell and he set sail, but now it's Ethan Troutman's turn. And he's just not having quite the results that his counterpart had a couple laps ago. Wide down in 3. That's going to lose the momentum. They're going to go single file out of turn number 4 now. 6 laps to go here. When your race leader crosses, there he is. And race fans, I don't want you to look. You see the second car back there? You see the Joe Strano 43. And then, well, that's the Storm. He is coming in a hurry. Last time by, he was 3.5 tenths of a second faster. Will it be enough time, though? High five this time. 5 laps to go. It's Anderson. It's Terrill. And Wells, your top 3. What more does DJ Anderson have to do to park his car in victory lane this season? Came in running 9th in the points championship standings, 2 top 10s so far this year. Four to go, and still 3/10 of a second faster was Max that time. I almost think it's not a matter of if, it's just when he will get there. You can tell he is on the throttle very early. He is coming after DJ Anderson. Look at the line. There they go. Underneath, 3 to go. 3 to go, and it's at 1 second. It's 1 second. It was as high as 5 at one point. Now, Max is coming. The strategy comes down to this. It's a driver that has not locked into the playoffs, and a driver that's already picked up 2 wins. That's how we're gonna battle this one out. It's a 2-headed race at this point. As the old popsicle sticks, wind them up, show them out. Wind them up, show them out. It is 2 to go here at Homestead. Very good down on the bottom for DJ Anderson. Very nice, calm, cool collective like the other side of the pillow. He'll work into turns 3 and 4. Just trying to be smooth. When he comes out of 4, he'll look up at the flags. Down, he'll see white flag in the air. It'll be the final lap here tonight, presented by Culpeper's Bakery and Cafe. 1 lap to go. DJ Anderson really starting to smell the muffins at Culpeper's. Down the back straightaway, 7/10 of a second gap and deficit. Final trip into turns number 3 and 4. When he comes out of turn number 4 and he looks up, it will read, DJ Anderson dominates in Miami. He'll pick up the win here tonight. DJ Anderson going to victory lane. In tow, though, will be the 42 of Max Terrill. And then the next place machine that'll come across, it'll be the 61 of Jason Wells. So Wells will finish in P number 3. Zach Mitchell back into the 4th spot. Jeffrey Souza gave it a valiant effort there. He'll finish in 5th. Chris Hammett was 6th. James Skelton was 7th. Eric Johnson was 8th. 9th goes to Sean Single. At 11th will end up going to Dalton Williamson. So Trevarthen holds on to the top 10, barely there at the end of this one. Race leader DJ Anderson at the line first. He'll pick up the win. He'll punch his ticket to the playoffs. So he'll burn it down here tonight, and we'll be back here with the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, presented by Red Light Racing.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Victory Lane here tonight, race fans. The Checkered Flag Auto Supply presented by Red Light Racing. The Scrambler Series round number 4 is officially in the books here tonight after 90 laps of hard-nosed racing with the 1987 Winston Cup machines. We threw a Buick out there to throw a little bit of curveball at these guys. Unfortunately, the Buicks not quite able to wrangle in the Chevrolets and the Fords here tonight. Well, let's go down to Victory Lane where there's a Ford standing by. And DJ Anderson, you stand next to it like you own it here in Victory Lane.
Yeah, kind of shocked I was able to beat Max there at the end. That first stop, my plan was just take 2 tires and then take 4 on the last. But when they took 4 tires on that first stop, I knew I kind of screwed myself and had to take 2 the whole way. And those last 12 laps, the grip level just, I don't know, it was like a switch just flipped and there was no grip at all. And, man, I was sweating bullets thinking he was going to catch me. I think if there's one more lap, he probably would have caught me.
At one point, the deficit was all but 5 seconds, and at the end of this one, a half a second deficit. Those final closing laps, it looks like Max was pulling about 0.3 of a second a lap. I mean, you talk about the tires just being gone. Was the groove just down on the bottom and nowhere else to go?
I had noticed everyone was running a lane up in the corners, and I kind of stuck to my thought process of running that white line, kind of running the Kevin Harvick line, and figured it'd be faster in the long run, even taking 2 tires and save those left fronts the best I could. And I think it worked out tonight. I don't know what line Max was running there at the end to catch me, or if he was just running the same line, but I think I was the only one really running the white line the whole way around the whole race.
Well, you made it work here tonight for yourself at Miami. How does it feel to now officially be locked in? You will join Max Terriel and Sean Butler as the only ones that have a seat at the dance.
It's a nice feeling. I felt like the first 2 races, I definitely could have won those races and kind of just took myself out with stupid strategy calls at the end. And, as this was one of the tracks that I felt like I might have a chance to win. I know last week it was kind of just ride and just damage limitation. I think it's kind of funny. I think I finished 7th in all 3 races and finally get a win. So hit those lucky 7s and finally get a win.
That's right. Sometimes you get lucky, and that's what you like. Well, hey, before we let you go, DJ, the red carpet rolls out. The microphone's yours. Who helped you get this one done?
Oh, I would, usually Sean, but he's not here this week, so really it was kind of on my own this week to prepare. Felt comfortable doing it, but I had to kind of survive without him here. And thank you for doing these and red light. All these guys. It's nice just to have one caution and go green there to the end. I know I was praying the whole time, please no caution, please no caution. But these guys are a good group of guys, and it's always fun racing out here with these guys.
There you hear it from DJ Anderson. He'll pick up his first win after a handful of 7th place finishes this season. He now secures his seat at the dance to party with Max Terrill and Sean Butler. Finishing, though, into the 2nd spot. Well, how about it, Max? This car was fast here tonight. It was the fastest car at the end of the race. You just ran out of laps.
Yeah, I really missed out on a few laps if I had more draft or maybe a quicker pit stop, but DJ played it the right way. He knew the advantage of old tires with these 87 cars, so congrats to him.
Yeah, you talk about the tire difference. You saw him put 2 tires on there at the middle portion of this race. Were you worried about it? Did you know about it? And were they just that much faster at that point in the race?
I knew that 2 tires were still good. I practiced that last night, so I planned on taking only 2 on the last pit stop, but I never thought that the left sides would hold up 90 laps and still be competitive. Like he said, maybe it fell off with a few laps to go, but still going almost 90 laps green. That's the best you can ask for these bias ply tires, actually.
Yeah, these tires, we don't run them on any other car that we have here on the sim, so nobody ever really knows how it's going to react, especially here at Homestead, a track that these cars never get to run in on the real world side of things. But how about next week, though? This one's in the books. You're already locked into the playoffs. Now we go to Talladega, baby. 65 laps with the Xfinity car at the Talladega Super Speedway. How do we feel headed to, a high horsepower, high draft?
In the past, I would tell you I'd rather be in the front or in the back, but nowadays wrecks can happen anywhere in the pack, so it's just about crossing your fingers and hoping to have a shot at the end past the tri-oval, and we'll see how it goes. It's the anything can happen race next week.
Well, before we let you go here tonight, Max, who do you got to thank on the sides of this 42 tonight?
Yep, as usual, my girlfriend, my friend Max at Maxim Knitting, and my dad. Shout out to Turn 3, the top quality broadcast, Josh, James, and Richard for the Scrambler series. Congrats again at BJ, and another strong finish for Jason and Bert.
There you hear it. Max Terry will finish second here tonight, and finishing in the 3rd spot, standing by here, driving the 64, Jason Wells. Jason, you finished 3rd here tonight, but boy, it felt like they kind of left you in the dust, and you were in a different planet.
Oh yeah, but I am so glad I finished 3rd. I could not believe the track position I picked up with that first green flag pit stop when I took 2 tires too. And like DJ and Max, I didn't think they would last the whole 90 laps, but I don't know. I just tried it, and it worked.
So you drove the wheels off it here tonight. Was that a strategy that you guys have tested in the past, or was that a kind of the seat of the pants moment?
He just left. I gotta thank Max for that, because we test a lot of stuff in the practice race on Sunday night, and wasn't really going for the win, trying to figure out what I could do to work better tonight. And Max took 2 tires and he gained like 10 seconds on me, and I couldn't catch him. So, and then a late caution came out, and just chaos came for me anyway. But yeah, normally when I find a hot hand like that, I don't even practice. I kind of keep it to myself, and hopefully, like at Michigan, DJ and Butler both had the same strategy of taking no left sides for the entire race, and we finished 1, 2, 3 there too.
Interesting to roll the dice, but you're one of these drivers here that don't have a teammate. Next week, teammates are going to be very important. What can be the strategy to find this 64 in victory lane for the first time this season?
There's a few people like me and Max seem to work all right together on super speedways. But I mean, having teammates is one thing, but normally most of us wait until like the last second to pit anyway. So unless you're leading the entire race and you have to pit one lap before everybody, it should be all right.
You think we're going to see some drivers try to push 65 laps next week on those left side tires?
I think if it goes green, there might be no tires taken next week.
Interesting play there, Cotton. We'll see if that strategy plays out for you. But before we let you go try those strategies, who do you got to thank up there on Mars?
Well, I guess I'll thank Alienware. That's my computer system that I've been running, so I like to run it on my car. And I've been running VR this season, so I'm getting used to that. It's blinked on me a few times, but knock on wood, it hasn't cut out on me yet. And gotta thank you for the great broadcast, and Josh and James and oh man, Richard. That was one of those Richard for running a great league out here. I forgot him last week. I gotta thank him this week.
Well, the Foundation always likes to hear his name called out there, but there you hear it, race fans. He will finish into the third spot. That is going to be Jason Wells. So DJ Anderson picks up the big W here tonight with Max Terrial in second, Jason Wells sitting in third, Zach Mitchell back there in fourth. Jeffrey Souza will finish into the fifth spot, and that rounds out your top five. Then it was going to be the number 6 of Chris Hammett, James Skelton, Eric Johnson, Sean Single, and Michael Trevarthen rounding down the top 10. That's how your top 10 unofficial results look like as we're getting ready to leave Homestead, Miami here tonight. We will head to the Talladega Super Speedway on May the 2nd for 65 laps. It's the second time we've had the NASCAR Xfinity Series machines out. We had them out at Chicagoland. We're going to get them back out for the second time this season. So that's going to be a wild and crazy ride at Talladega. We're going to see speeds upwards of 200 miles an hour when it comes next week. But for everybody with the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, all of us here with the Turn 3 Racing Network, and of course, everybody back at the Red Light Racing headquarters, we thank all the race fans for tuning in here tonight. Everybody stay safe, and we'll see you in Turn 3.